yesterday while you're doing your live.
Well, let's see how many people are feeling like being on my live. Besides myself.
So you won't say anything at first, and I'll do an intro, bring you in, do like a warm up.
Hello, Rinska. How are you? I was wondering how you've been. Gonna do some down on the farm tonight. Excuse me, and I'm allergic to that trees and grass. So that was like perfectly timed there. Yeah, we're gonna do some down on the farm tonight. So I got my little stuff here ready. I need another one of these, like the right one. The new one.
Well, I'm printing purple.
Are you printing purple for me?
Well, I'm printing purple and then I'll...
Oh, thank you. I'm good. I'm good. I'm just ready to do some coloring. I was already coloring, I'm not going to lie. I was coloring birthday monsters. But we're not going to do that on the live because we're sold out of those right now. But they are on the way to being back in stock. So I'm excited about that. I just had this, this is a sad day when your refill is empty, isn't it? What a sad day. I just refilled this marker and now I don't have any more YGO3. So that's disappointing, but I said I would do something from the new release today. Can you pull this stamp set so I can show it to you? I said I was going to do something from the new release today, and everybody wanted cows yesterday. Wanted me to do the cow yesterday, so I started on his horns, and then I stopped. Because I was like, oh, everybody's going to want to see the cow, and so I decided to stop, wait, hold up. So yeah, so that's what I've been doing, working, and I worked 9.5 hours today. It was a long day. You saw that, the cow? Here he is. He's black on the package, but we're going to do him brown tonight, I think. So this is the Cluck set that just released this month. This is the Ledoux Design set, so I'm super excited about it. Dies to match. You can buy the dies, matching dies. Hi, Joanne. So this is the one that we're going to do tonight. Well, we'll see how far we can get. They probably won't take too long. Yeah, it sure did feel like full time today, and I have to work tomorrow and Friday too. Boo for working. Hi, Mama. Moo Moo Buckaroo. Hi, Julie. Did you get your chamois yet, Julie? They were supposed to deliver today. I hope that you got them. They've been skating all around the states for fun. I hope they arrived. Okay, I take it back. So I refilled my YG03 today. That's why it's out. I'm not actually going to color with my YG03 today. Well, you never know, but it's not the plan. So those who had to drop off early last night, this is the finished card we did. We started with the Jamie the other night. And last night we did the Sandy and the background and created this sweet card. So if you missed the end, now you got a sneak peek of what that looks like. I'll track it again, Julie, when I get done on the live and see what it says, because yesterday it said you should have it today. I don't know why my mail is being so finicky. But let's go ahead and get started. We got a few people on here. Hi, Cheryl. See, you didn't even miss me. I mean, it looks like I already started, but I figured you guys would forgive me for that. You know, I used E43. So I'll tell you the color combo, and then we'll just skip the E43 because I already did it. Yeah, watch the replay. I had so much fun making that background. It was not one that I'd ever done before, but I wanted to just branch out there and try something new. So I did, and I loved the way it came out, so I was super happy. So I'm just going to do his little horns with this E43, E42, E41, and then I'm going to put E51 in there because it's kind of like bone, and you guys know when I do the bone, I like to add E51 for a little bit of flesh-ish color. Flesh-ish? Is that even a word? I do not know. So let's pretend I just used my E43 to color just around the base of his head. And now we're going to use E42 to extend out that color. We'll have to touch it a little bit more and a little bit heavier because I did these the other day and then I stopped, so it's dry on the paper and I need to wet the paper again. So I didn't know if you guys knew, but when you're using Copic markers, you can always go back and wet the paper again and continue coloring if you decide that there's something else you want to do to an image. So you can definitely do that. However, with that said, each time you layer the same color over top, when after it dries, it's going to darken that color. So keep that in mind. You can't do half the face and then come back and make both sides of the face the same color, because that won't work. Hi, Karen. So E41 is the next color. Hopefully you guys can see. I'm trying to do this a little more with my hand out of the way. It usually works pretty good, but if I start getting my hand in the way or off the screen or whatever, you guys just yell at me. I'm thinking now that I've started coloring this that I might do his little hooves in this really light color as well. Although generally they're pretty much darker because they're outside and in the grass and dirt all the time. But hey, this little guy is not one that's out in the grass and the dirt every day. So he's not going to have that going on. So there's his little horns. So we're going to start over with the E43. I think I'm going to give him a pink belly and a pink nose tonight. We'll color him brown. I think brown will be fun. He's an indoor cow. That's right. He's just a baby. He's a baby plushy cow. So, although you never know, I might put him out on the farm when I make him into a card. But for now, he's just a lovable little guy without getting his little hooves dirty. So I'm just doing around the outside to get those colored in. The part that's closest to the ground, dark. The part that's not will be lighter. Some of you who just jumped on, I started the video out sneezing, and I was like, well, that's what it'd be like if I was out on the farm. I'd be sneezing. an indoor cow. Wouldn't it be cool if they had cows the size of like dogs and cats? Although some dogs are the size of a cow, but it would be neat if you could have an indoor cow. I know you can have pigs inside. Like, my daughter had a pig once. What? A potbelly pig. My daughter had a potbelly pig in her house for a while. But he was messy. He ended up going down to a farm. But they promised he would stay on the farm forever. My nails are getting long. They need to be done so bad. I just haven't. I've been working so much, I haven't been able to get out to get them done. But I do need to get them done. They're really long. Pygmy goats? Do they go, ah? Do they scream? Do they scream? E41, I'm going to go along the bottom. And I'll put a little bit of the E51 in the center. Pygmy goats. I don't know what that is. Are they the baby ones I always see on like YouTube videos and memes and all that stuff? I have to tell you guys, I saw a TikTok video today. Somebody sent me this TikTok video and said, hey, check this out. And the girl was doing like a speed up quick, the size of a nugget. Oh my gosh. And this video, I opened it up because she was coloring in the video and had all her markers there and stuff. And she started to do this quick coloring video thing, and her markers were so nasty. I just, oh, it was everything in me just to finish watching that video. But since someone sent it to me, I watched it. So I could say, yes, I watched it. But it was, her markers were so dirty, it was nasty. I was so sad for her. Hi, Michelle. I cleaned all my markers the other day. So I'm super happy. Mine are all cleaned up. Alright, so that's all I'm going to use that color for. So I'm going to do the pink parts first because I'm going to make him brown. So I want to do the pink, the lighter colors first. Let's see. And I don't want it to be pink, so I need those kind of pink, but not really pink colors. So, if that makes any kind of sense. I know you guys got me. You know what I mean. We can try a YR in there and see if that's going to work. It's frozen. What? I'm moving my markers. You see me moving my markers? Maybe it's not frozen anymore. Let's try these colors and see if we like them. Okay, good there. Awesome. Okay, so this one, a little on the pink side, E93. And this one, I like this one better. This is R12. And then if I put E21 in there, that's a little less pink. That might be a good combo. And then let's try the YR. Yeah, I like that. You do now? You see them moving around now? I'm going to put the E93 back because I don't think I need that one. And I might want to go with a really light, light pink to end it up. So I'm going to go 4 markers tonight. I know that would just kill Jamie if she was here, but R12, E21, YR00, and E00. Now we could do one a little bit darker. Let's see for some deeper shadow. Let's see what E95 looks like. Ooh, that's a good one. Let's use that. So then we'll go to 5. That will make everybody happy. 5 markers. We'll add E95 to the top of that. Okay, so this was just my little swatch it paper so I could test out my colors before I got started. Am I zoomed in enough for you guys? Maybe I'll zoom in just a little bit more so you guys can see it even a little bit better. And I'll scoot my honey over. Okay. All right, so let's get started. We are going to use E95, and we're going to start with the shadow areas on this little one's belly. I'd say his belly, but he would not look like this probably. I don't know. Do male cows have udders too? I think it's just the female cows. So let me see if I can turn my angle, make sure you guys can see what I'm doing. So I'm doing just a little bit underneath these to kind of shadow them because they're hanging down. And then I'm going to do under this arm that's here and a little bit up this way. I'm not really going to do over here because I think that's going to be lighter. And we'll do them in sections because that's the way I like to do it. So we'll do this and then we'll do his nose. Just female cows. See, I knew somebody on here would know the answer to that. R12 is the next one. So we're just going to go over and extend out from the R12. This looks pretty pink right now, but we're going to settle that down a little bit on the next color. I think I'll go over here and do this side. And I'm just going to emphasize these udders again. There we go. Oh, it's mighty quiet tonight. Well, not here. You can hear the 3D printer running. But it feels a little more quiet than usual. E21 is next. So this is one we use in our skin tone. So it's going to be a little more like skin color than the really pinkish color we were getting. There's not a perfect color for when you want to do pink but not really pink. Pink but not pink. So you have to kind of make your own. So I'm going to go all the way around the outside just because this is supposed to be my true color because it's the third one in the combo. I'm trying to get real close to that edge so I can kind of wash out some of that pink. I'm going to go all the way over the udders so I can keep them a little bit of this fleshy tone color. It's too hot there. It's pretty hot here too. But I'm staying inside. So I can stay cool. This is YR00, and I don't know if you can see, but the E21 and the pink colors, I didn't blend them completely out because I'm going to use this one to come in and do that blending of them. And extending up a little bit. But because that was a skin tone and I really want this to be a little more on the pink side, I didn't blend really strongly until I get to these last colors. Oh, mid-99s. Well, that's normal for us. Oh, wow. That's a lot over there, Seattle. I'm glad we weren't doing the show there while it's 99 in Seattle. R00, those who might be coming to Texas, it's going to be hot here when we have it here. I'm going to kind of do that back and forth to fill in those colors and blend them all out. I'll put a little bit of extra in here because it's almost too light for me. So there we go. I like that. It looks really bright right now, but it probably won't look like that once we get to coloring the cow a little bit more. So back to our E95. I know, I like the water mountains a lot. Okay, so I'm going to use this right here in this part of his nose that bends down. I want to have a little bit of a shadow there. And then just along the bottom of his face. And you have to do that with really tiny brush strokes. And then I'm going to do inside his nostril a bit on both sides. And I'm going to do a little bit on the outside as well. Kind of like that. He looks a little funny right now, but we'll bring it all together here in a minute. So R12 is next. I have seen Washington once. That's the only time I've ever been to Washington. Now I'm gonna extend up a little bit from this underline that we have right here going on his face. Her face. A little bit further out from here. And I'm gonna extend all the way down where I put that original color. I think we'll do a little bit inside here again. Alrighty, so starting to look good. Starting to come together. The next color we're going to use a lot more of because this is our third color, so it's like our true color. Anybody coloring this sweet cow with me? I know some of you guys who are on here have this sweet cow. Now I'm going to do my brush strokes from the line up. A little bit thicker brush strokes this time because this is the true color, so we're going to use a little bit more of it. I am not going to use it inside the nostril, but I am going to use it outside. It's so cute. If I have to say so myself, can't help it. There we go. He looks a little funny right now still, I think. But then our images usually do when we're in the middle of coloring them. So all is good, all is good. Okay, this is the YR00. Gonna do my brush strokes a little bit longer, fill in a little bit more. Very little in this edge over here. There we go. And the last color we're going to use is the R00. Okay, so since this is our last color, this is where I'm going to fill in this little nose. And then I'm going to do some back and forth here to saturate that and blend it out. I don't want to do it too much over where I put the darkest color because I don't want it to wash out my dark color. There we go. Let's smooth just a little bit more going this way. There we go. And it looks textured too. I love it. Okay, so we have to do one more thing with these colors before we move on to the next. So I'm going to skip the E95 and I'm going to go right to the R12 and I'm going to do right up underneath his little ear here. And same thing on the other side. And then I'm going to skip again the E21 because I want the ears to remain more pink. And I'm going to use the YR00 and that'll probably be it. I will probably just use those two colors for right here. There we go. Doesn't that just look like the happiest little cow? Okay. And I think we should do this sweet cow in brown colors. And since my markers are clean, I feel comfortable using my 29. I might use 29, 27, 25, 23. I need another one in there. Maybe I'll use 49. So 49 is really dark, but I love it for great detail in that really dark color. And then E29 is pretty dark too. Then 27, 25, and 23 will lighten it up. So here we go. We're going to make this a little brown cow. He's going to be so happy. How now, brown cow? So I'm going to do it in sections. I'm going to start with his ears. I'll do the two ears first. And I think we're going to make the hair like a way lighter brown, just so it stands out. So I'm going to do this part right up here, close to his head. I'm going to build that fence right here. And then I'm going to just do really tiny brush strokes out, like that. And I'm going to do that on both sides. So hopefully you can see that. So I started in the corner and then I'm just going to build this little fence here. Then I'm going to turn my paper and I'm going to do little brush strokes out from there. And as I go up, they're going to get shorter and shorter. So I want the top part of his ear to be lighter than the bottom part, but I am going to put just a little bit right here where his ear caves in or curls in, or whatever you want to call that, on both sides. So we'll have a little bit more accent on that. So we're going to go through these colors multiple times because we're going to do it in sections. So E29 is next. So just extending out from where we put the last color. Our brush strokes are going to get longer as we get to the bottom of the ear. And a little tiny little bit underneath there. Wednesdays must be exhausting day for people because there's not very many people watching. I sure am thankful for you regulars who stay devoted to watching. I know a lot of people come in and watch the replay later. This is E27. It's the true color, so I'm going to do this little tip of his ear. And then I'm going to close in this back part here and extend out that little dip. So I'm going to do the same thing with the other side. So starting with the little tip of his ear, I want to make that a little bit darker along the bottom and the top and deepen this. There we go. So we're getting there. Next is E25. So this is going to start getting quite a bit lighter. So we're going to extend out from where our last color was. So the other day when we colored oh, what was it called? The other kind of bowl. What was that called? It's like a, I don't know why my mind is escaping me, but when we colored that, we showed a lot of fur. It'll come to me. Just hold on. Maybe I have a picture of it, and I can show you what I'm talking about. Yes, the Scottish cow. There you go. I knew somebody would save me. Thank you, Michelle. Yes, when I colored that, I showed a lot of fur. But on this little cow, I'm not really going to put a lot of fur look to it. I want it to be more smooth and soft. So, like a plushie, kind of. Especially since we didn't make him an outside cow. We made him an indoor cow, so he needs to be like a plushie. See how smooth, pretty that ear looks? Highland cow, that's it. That is it. That is the name of it. That's the word that I was escaping my head. I don't know why I struggle with the names sometimes of those, but yeah, I did. Okay, time to start again with our combination, and now we're going to do his head. But I think maybe before we do his head, we'll bounce in there and do that hair. I think we should make it almost like a golden yellow brownish color. Right, Julie? So I'm going to put just a little bit of this yellowish color up there. And then I want it to stay brighter than that, so I'm going to come in with, that was Y24. I'm going to come in with Y21. Just to bring that a little bit more yellowish blonde. Kind of look like he has a little blonde tuft at the top of his head. Or her head. Because why not? We could do it the same color as the face, but I thought it would look cute with a little bit of color on there. So we just used two colors. We used YR24 and 21. And now we're going to start with our E49 again. So here we go. Okay, so I'm going to start in this little corner of her face. I don't know why I want to call all of my images he images. And then I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to do this dip right here because it would be more shadowed than the rest of them. He's going to look silly when we start. And then I also want to do along underneath his horns, her horns. See, every single time. And then I'm going to do right below that hair because I want to separate that hair really well from the top. So there we go. That's it with the dark color. Now when you use this E49, you have to use it lightly because it's very dark. But it looks really good for depth. E29 is pretty dark too, but not quite as much as the 29. So I'm just pulling out from where I put, extending out from where I put that original color. We're doing a little bit of moving the image around tonight. I think it helps allow you guys to be able to see what I'm doing a little bit better. Hi, Melanie. And now I'm going to do tiny brush strokes from this deep area right here that I want to stay kind of dark. And I'm also going to do it at the top of his head. Her head. Oh my gosh, I just cannot not say he. I mean, the head is round, so we want to show that roundness by putting some dark around there. You'd like to live in Scotland? Hey. I think I'm just pretty happy where I'm at. I might be open to moving like to Arizona or Idaho. My husband's not keen on Idaho. I already asked. Underneath the eyes, I'm going to get that part colored in. And then extending out from where I put the other dark colors. This one's still pretty dark. This is E27, but it is the true color, so I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit more in there. They, them. I got to say they, them. I don't know if I can do it. I'm old school. I'm going to come down a little bit deeper here so we can start filling in some of this part in between the eyes. And maybe a little bit around the outside of the eye here. Because we want enough depth around there to really make those eyes stand out. This is going to be the cutest cow ever. Or at least I hope it is. Okay, so extending from our last color, we're going to do this one just a little bit more so we can lighten her up a little bit. Wow, I cannot believe I can't even say she. And then I'm going to do on this side. This is not the first time that's happened to me. It's a chocolate milk cow. That's right. I used to tell my daughter when she was little, she would always say, I want chocolate milk. And if we didn't have it, I would tell her that it was white chocolate milk. That wasn't very nice. It was a lie. But it worked. She wanted to drink it because it was white chocolate milk. I do need to give her a name. If I gave her a name, I could stop calling her a him. And we don't want to call her the same as the cows, like Elsie the cow or anything. She needs her own special name. I don't know. A name is not coming to me at this point. So you guys might have to help with that. If there is some out there, I'll pick my favorite one. So this is the last color, so we're going to fill in the rest with this color, and we're going to try really hard not to color inside of her eyes, because it would be really hard to repair. Baby grapes. Oh, see? Awesome. Right? That's a great idea. I wish I'd have thought of that one. That was a great idea. I could see how they would look like that, although they don't taste like that. But then again, neither does white chocolate milk, so what can I say? There we go. Now we have that sweet little face going. Stella. That's cute. I wonder if I could remember that. I like Stella. That's a very cute name. You guys are good at this. You know that these stamp sets and stuff, I always let Jamie name them because I can't ever think of the right name to use, the best name to use. Ooh, we should do her tail in those yellow colors too. Let's do it. Let's do it before we do her body. See, you named her. You started naming her. We'll name her Stella. And then I started calling it a her. It worked. It worked. So I'm just going to put in a little bit of lines in here because I do want to keep that fur-ish texture going on with, oops, I moved my camera. Sorry about that. I have the cord wrapped around so I can keep it plugged in so we don't have any mishaps of losing our power while we're coloring. And I hit the cord. Gave you guys a slight earthquake. when I first started coloring this, I hadn't intended on doing the tail and the hair a different color, but I like how it came out. I think it's super cute. So I just pulled the same two yellow colors I used at the top, YR24 and YR21. And now I'm going to go back to the E49. Oh, she liked it. She really liked it. She said it was amazing. So I am super glad she liked it, because it's probably going to go in the mail to her anyway. I mean, she is my bestie, so. And then I'm going to mail it to her, and inside it's going to say, but you have to let me use it for display at the expo. Yeah, she really liked it. I was so glad. So I did right up under her neck, and now I'm going to do the underside of her arm. And a little bit at the bend. Not much, just a teeny bit. And then right here in this fold part of her arm. Just a little bit. And then I'm also going to do just right here on this side of the arm that would be furthest away. And then I'm going to do it on the opposite side of the line to show the shadow below the arm. Just a little bit. We don't want to put too much of this dark color in there because it really stands out. And we have to really touch lightly with the tip of our marker so that we don't get really thick lines. So this takes a little bit of practice. So if yours is, if you don't think you can do it with that skinny of a line, then just skip the E49 and use the other colors, because that will work as well. I'm also going to do this tip right here, closest to where the little hair shows out. And there we go. We may do this pig tonight too, because this color right here is really good pig color. I just got a sharp pain in my head, like a headache. That was so weird. Okay, E29 is next. So I'm gonna go just extending out from where I put the last color. Just pushing back that shadow up under her chin. Yes, Julie, that happens. I even have moments like that still, so that's normal. But I saw some color cards you did, and they were amazing. You were too hard on yourself. I thought they were awesome. We're always hardest on ourselves. But you are doing very good, and I'm super proud of you, all that coloring you're doing. I'm really proud of you. Practice, practice, practice. It takes a bit of work, but it pays off for sure. It does. Practice makes all the difference in the world. It definitely does. Those tiny lines are very hard to do. And I can tell you this, in case you didn't know, I have a marker that I did not change the nib on because I wanted to show you guys. I hope I can remember which one it was. I'm going to test out a couple here real quick and see if I can figure it out. I might have to just wait till I come to, oh, here we go. Okay. So when I color with this E29 and I touch the paper, I can touch that really lightly and get teeny tiny lines. But if I put any pressure on the nib, see how the nib doesn't really move? It's kind of stiff. It has a little flexibility, but it's pretty stiff. If you look at this one, this is my C00. If I try to do those tiny lines, I can still get them a little bit, but they're still thicker than this one. But watch when I try to press down on the paper. Watch how much that nib, look at how much that nib bends. Can you see that? See that wiggly nib? That means the fibers are broken down on this nib, and you cannot get those as tiny stripes from them. I can't even lay this one on the paper like that because it's stiff. It won't lay down the way that the other one does. So this is how I know when I can lay my marker down like that. Let me put it up real close so you guys can really see. When I can lay my marker on the paper and do this, look at that. Then, and I'm not even pushing that hard. If I can just lay my pen down on the paper and the nib bends like that, that means the fibers in the nib are broken down and it isn't going to last that much longer and the top's going to pop off and I'll have to replace it. So if you're trying to get teeny tiny lines like that and your nibs are very bendy and flexible like that, that could be part of the problem, which is, as Jamie says, I change my marker nibs a lot, but that's because I'm a heavy-handed colorist, so when I color, I touch the paper much more firm than she does, so my nibs break down faster. So if you can get a really light hand on your markers, things will be a lot better for you. Yes, it is better to have, the nib should be more stiff, yes. Still bendy and flexible and easy to roll across the paper, but definitely going to be more stiff than that wobbly one you just saw. They should not bend like that. That is not a good sign. So if yours does that, it probably means you need a new nib. It doesn't mean you have to replace it right away, but it does mean, keep in mind, you're not going to get as tiny of brush strokes. You're going to struggle a little with that. You're going to get it more ink on the paper because of the way that you hold the marker. And you have that with your E41? Yeah, it can happen. That's what she said. That's funny. Perfect. That was perfect timing. Yeah, if you have that going on with your E41, you might want to think about changing the nib soon because it'll make it a lot easier for you. It'll make your life easier and you'll be so happy. I like to be able to get those tiny, tiny little brush strokes. And the other night when we were coloring, I had showed you some little, I don't know, they were like little ends of my marker that were just kind of, I don't know, they were weird, misshapen, and they were causing me some issues with getting my blends going on, so I've already replaced those as well. I kind of keep all that stuff in stock. I have probably 12 packs of nibs in my stash over here that I keep handy. So I never need to replace a nib and don't have the nib to replace it with. So same with the markers. Like I have all the refills, so I never have a problem. Even though I used all my YG03 tonight, I have the new refill already sitting in my stash waiting for me to open it up for the next time. So I don't ever run out of colors, nibs, or refills. So if you don't want to buy all the refills, you just need to live next to, really close to someone like me who can refill your markers for you. Because they have all of them. Or get together with your friends that you know and that live close by that do copic coloring, and you buy half and they buy half, and then you guys can share. It makes life a lot easier. There used to be this scrapbook you just replenished. Oh, you're just waiting for refill for that. Oh, awesome. There used to be this scrapbook place that I used to go to, like an actual scrapbook store. It was a long time ago, but it was when I first started with my markers, and they were getting dry, and I needed to refill them, and I couldn't afford to buy all the refills. So I would go to that store, and they would charge me like $1 a marker to fill up my ink. And so I try to do that. I try to refill people's markers for them at like $1 a marker, so I can replace the ink refill when it runs out. And that usually works really well. If you can find someone in your area that'll refill your markers for a small fee, it's kind of amazing. Look at that sweet cow. Now all we have to do is give that sweet cow some eyes. I mean, it has eyes, but we need some color in those eyes. Those great big eyes. We need big color in the big eyes. I'm thinking green. What are you guys? Agreed? I'm thinking I'm going to use green. I'm going to make green eyes. So I'm going to use 3 colors, I think. We'll see once I get started. I'm going to start with YG67. I'm going to use 63. And then I'm going to use YG03. And then the magic one, the G00 that I always use, I'm going to put that one in at the end. So I'll skip a spot there so you can see. Okay. So before we get started, we have to actually decide how big we want those eyeballs to be and where we want the eyeball to be in case we mess it up. So I'm going to use my C00 to draw in the eyes. Should we give it really big eyes? I think we should give her big eyes. So I am going to go all the way around here. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Give her some really big eyes. And I wanted to do them with this color just so I can get the base of, in case I messed up rounding it. I wanted to make sure I had the base. And then we'll go over it with the color. But this, you know how we always use a light color just to decide where we're going to put it. I am going to use C1 as well. So I used C0 to draw that line. I'm going to use C1 around the outside of this eye to make it look a little more white than the paper. So I'm just doing it along the top right here. And before we get too far into it, I'm also going to use my Colorless Blender to push that color I just put in there back. And this just kind of helps it look more realistic. So we have to be careful not to touch our circle we did, and we'll have to give it a couple of seconds or so after we do this and kind of wait before we go sticking that color in, or that Colorless Blender will suck that green right into it and she'll have green eyeballs all the way. Which you could totally do if you really wanted to, but I don't want to. So let's fan her off a little bit. We got 7 people. Woohoo! I didn't use a lot of that C1, so it won't take long for it to dry. But you can kind of see my cow on the back. Okay, so now we can start with the YG67. And I'm going to do the outside of the eye with the YG67. So I'm going to follow that line I already put in there so I don't have to really concentrate on the shape of the eye because I already did that. It doesn't have to be perfect. I am going to go along the inside as well and kind of round it off at the bottom. So this eye is going to look really funny when you first start, but it'll be okay. We're going to do one eye at a time. I'm going to do a few little really tiny brush strokes coming out from her eye to give the lines in your eyes. And then I'm going to switch to the next color, which is YG63. Hi, Amy. And with YG63, I'm going to go over where I put that last color. These eyes are pretty big, so they're going to make it pretty easy for you guys to see the process. And then I'm going to go around the inside of the last color I put in. And I'm going to do a few tiny lines going the other way. So our eye looks kind of funny right now. And she's going to look real funny when she has one eye done and one eye not. But hey, that's part of the fun of coloring is you get to watch it look funny for a while. So with YG03, we're going to fill in the rest of the eye. So she kind of has this really sweet green eye here. I've decided that I wish I would have put a little bit of a darker ring around the outside. So I'm going to go ahead and go on the inside with this YG63 again. Kind of deepen up that outside circle of the eye. Yep, I like that better. I need to do it a little bit up here. There we go. And then we're going to go in with our magic color and we're just going to make a circle around the eye like this. I'm going to do it for a little bit until it starts looking like it's changing, and then we're going to stop. I'm going to give it a second for the color to move, and then I'm going to go and fix any spots I wanted there to be a little more of this on there. And then I'm going to stop. Now that washes out some of those lines you put in there, so I'm going to go back in with my YG63 and I'm going to extend those lines out again so it's a little bit more prominent in there, and from the other way. Now you can put these lines in with the black multi-liner if you want, but I kind of like it like this. I also, oh, did you give me another card stand?
Yep.
Yay! I did decide that I kind of wish I had put a little bit of the really dark color around the black. So I'm going to go in and do that. Just so the black part stands out just a little bit more than I really originally had. And then you can see it up close. It's super cute. I think it needs a little bit more of YG03 along this part to blend that in. When I held it up close, it looked like it needed a little bit more of that to really soften up that eye. So there we go. I think that's a lot better. So that softened up the eye a bit. I like it. Let's move on and do the second one, and I think it'll look better once you get the second one in there. So I'm going to line up my markers again. YG67, YG63, YG03, and then the magic G00. So here we go. Same process. I'm going to start with the YG67. around the outside. I'm going to turn the paper. I'm going to do a long, oops, I went a little in too far on that one, but I think it'll still be okay. There we go. Now we're going to do a couple of those lines out like we did on the other one. Next one, YG63. I'm going to go around the inside of the outline. I'm trying to use the very tip of my marker because I don't want a really thick line. I'm going to go over the lines that I put in there with the last color. And then I'm going to do a little bit coming the other way. I would put the dark color around the black, but I want to do it in exactly the same order that I did earlier. Otherwise, I'll get a different look, and I don't want a different look. So I'm going to go around and fill in the rest of this eye with this green. So you can see when I hold it up the difference that it makes when you add that magic color to it. So just like the other one, I'm going to go in with my YG63 and add a thicker line around here, trying to stay with the same pattern that I did the last time. And then I'm going to use the magic color, which is making a circle with this one. I'm going to start making a circle until the ink starts moving around, which I think it is now. So I'm going to give it a second or two. Go in and do any extras. Now I'm going to go back in with my YG63. I'm going to fix these little lines that kind of got faded out from both ways. I'm going to put my YG67 around the black part of the eye to make it really stand out. And then I'm going to soften the whole thing with the YG03. So you're kind of going back and forth using these colors multiple times. Now, if I had more markers, I probably wouldn't go back and use them over and over again. There we go. And now we have sweet eyes. Hi, Joy. So I want to, there's some sweet eyes right there. So I'm going to do the white gel pen over these white dots because it just makes it stand out a little bit more. But I want to wait until the ink is dry in case I went over the black area. Hi, Joy. I think we should do the pig too. You guys want to do the pig too? I think we have more than enough time. Yeah, it's only 10:30. We did the cow fast. All right, let's do the pig too. And let's use the same colors we used earlier. This time we're going to make the nose and the little feet. Let's start with that. We're going to make them the same color as the hooves on this other one. Love the little piggy. He is happy he's not bacon. Super happy. 43, 42, 41, and a little bit of 51. you see that. 43, 42, 41, and 51. And I think we're just going to make his nose darker pink, but we're not going to, we're going to do this inside part with this brownish color. And then we're going to do these little, I don't know, what do you call those? Hooves, hands. So I'm just kind of going along the part where it touches the pink part, some along the bottom, and that line in between. There we go. And then we'll go in with E42, and we'll extend out just a teeny bit from where we put the last color. I haven't talked to you in a while, Joy. I hope you're doing well. I just wanted a pig doing the jig. Isn't that funny? So when I drew this little piggy, I think all the times you see the piggies either sitting down or they're on all fours, and I wanted something a little more unique than that, so I made my little piggy dance. It's a dancing pig. E41, second to the last color, so we're going to start filling in some of this, and then we'll go over it with the last color. So we're just leaving, it's probably hard for you to see because it's such a light color, but we're leaving very tiny little white areas. So when we put that last color in, it'll look really good. Oh, she wore a tutu. That's so funny. I wonder if we could do that. We could make her wear a tutu. That would be super fun. Although I'm not sure she's a little close to the cow for that on this one. But just going to kind of go over the center parts of these little hooves with this 51. Just to kind of bring that color a little more depth. And then I'm going to use it for the rest of the nostril. So I want those parts to be darker because they're more inset. She wore a tutu. That would be so cute. Okay, so now that we have those out of the way, let's go back to our combination that we did on the cow. We'll use the same colors. So E95, R12, E21, YR00, and R00. So we're going to start with our E95. And I'm going to make the inside of her ears a little more pink, so I'm going to leave out the subtle colors. So I'm going to start on this part on her ear that's, oh look, I'm calling her a her now, a her, she. Part closest to her head. I'm going to do a little bit. Oh, she had a, oh, that's funny. That's so cute. Hey, Joy, can you send me a couple pictures of your birds? I've heard about them, but I have not seen them. And I'm going to do along this bottom part right here, just a very thin line. Again, this is a newer nib, so it works really well. So now we have the little ears started. Yay! And I think I might do the tail while I'm doing the ears, just so that, since it's such a little space. And I'm going to do where they overlap. So that little tail wraps behind, so the shadow will be behind. So we'll do the ears and the tail at the same time. Our 12 is next. Oops, slippery little suckers. So just extending, I got a fuzzy on my marker. Extending from where I put the last color. I'm gonna have these two meet up right here. And then I'm gonna do a little bit up from this part of the ear that's hanging over. A little bit here. There we go. I think the dog is snoring under my desk. I was trying to figure out what that noise was. I have pigs, cows, and a dog snoring. How unique is that? And then extending out on the tail from where we put the darkest color. This one I'm going to try to stay closest to the inside of the tail. And then E21. Same thing, extending out from the pink, up from this part of the pink. We still have two colors, but this is our true color, so I'm going to start filling that in. This pig is going to be darn cute. I feel it already. I'm excited. You ever do that when you start coloring? Ever feel excited as you're coloring it? Sometimes I do, not very often, but sometimes I'm like, oh, this might be messed up. But I just keep going, never give up, never surrender. It's going to look good in the end. But this one feels cute right now. We're getting a really soft, pretty color on this pig. I'm super happy with it. I'm struggling putting this marker cap back on this E21. And then YR00. Kind of leave small highlight areas there for us to fill in with our last color. Kind of like hair, down from the top, up from the bottom. Keep that same movement of that little ear. Just deepening that color of that tail a little bit. And then R00 is the last one. This is the one that's going to blend it out, so there'll be a little back and forth going on. Not a lot. I don't want to wash out those those highlight areas, so just a little bit. Enough to cover the white, but leave the little spots so you can definitely see them. See? You can see all the shiny light on them. There we go. All right, so now we got to start the color combo over again, and we're going to do her head next. So here we go, E95. So I'm going to do from this ear, because it's overlapping her face, underneath her ear right here, because same thing. I'm going to do down the side of her little cheek. Then this part right here is going to be shadowing her cheek a little bit. And then I'm going to color in these artist drawn lines right here on the nose. And I'm going to outline this entire part of this nose because I want to keep this real dark. So I probably won't use all the colors on the nose for sure. And then a little bit down here, but it's going to be a tiny line because most of the shadow is going to be under her chin instead of on her chin. Although she might have a little bit right inside, the inside of this line right here. So she looks really funny right now. Next is our 12. So we have a sweet cow and a cute pig. Extend out from the last color. Gotta be careful when we do this one, we don't get it in her eye. And start build that depth underneath those cheeks, underneath those eyes to show the cheeks. Gonna make this a little thicker here. Come down from the nose. And up here. Starting to really build in that nose. Super cute. Just gonna barely touch this part to deepen that. And just a little bit on the chin. Not too much. Yay! Thank you. So cute. All right, here's our E21. We are not going to put this in the nose because I want to keep the nose more pink. This is more of our true color, so we're going to use it more liberally. Make sure to go all around her eye. Gonna kind of build in a little bit of a cheeky going on here to see how that looks when we get done. I don't usually do that, but I want her cheeks to look big and fat. Big fat cheeks. So I'm gonna start building in this part under her chin because this is supposed to be our true color. And then I'm going to start doing some underneath her nose in this color. This will emphasize the pink in her nose if the off pink is around it. Go ahead and fill that in because I want to keep that pretty dark too. There we go. I don't know why I'm struggling with getting these caps back on my markers tonight. Oh, that was the same marker. No wonder. Okay, so YR00. This one is going to bring some of the pink back in there. So I'm going to do it from both sides just so it goes really well. I want to kind of keep her cheeks really light, so I'm trying to leave some white area on her cheeks. So I'm going to have to turn the paper so I can do that again too. I think that'll look super cute. Or at least I hope it will, because I'm doing it. And it's too late to turn back now. I'm going to use this one a little bit on her nose. We're almost finished up with the nose. We're going to leave a little bit of highlight on there for the last color. Okay, R00 is the last color. If we don't like these cheeks that light, we can always go back and darken them up. But for now, I'm gonna actually leave some highlight on those cheeks. I wanted to blend that in pretty good on the top of her head. It looks way more light on the camera than it does in real life, but it's super cute. Okay, so I'm gonna do some back and forth here. I wanna keep these cheeks light. And I wanna soften that line. I don't want it to be a really obvious line, but at least it will leave the cheeks super bright. A little bit here, right here. And that should finish up our look. Now look at those cheeks. Aren't those cheeks cute? The cheeks look really cute light like that. I was hoping that would work out the way I wanted it to. And it did. So I am happy with that. I already colored the tongue before I started, but you know, hey, sometimes that just happens. So E95, we're going to do her little body now. Hello, hello. I see you popped on. How are you doing? This is our E95. So we're definitely going to do under the chin. Going to do under this leg right here, all the way up to the tail. I'm going to do along the back side of that part and along the bottom right here. I'm going to do this side and right here underside of her big belly. And then we got to do a little bit right here, closest to her body, and down the back a little bit. There we go. And I'm just going to put this little line here and this little line here. We'll build that in a little bit more later on. Going to put this little thick right there where the arm is folded over the body. A little bit underneath here because this part is over her body. And then we got to do this little other arm, part closest to the body, and a little bit just right underneath there. I'm just going to do a little dot over the belly button. All right, R12 is next. Going to start pulling from where we put the last color and extending out a bit. Keeping that kind of dark under her chin. The back side, I'm just going to go ahead and fill that back side in right now. Going to do a little bit more extending out from this darkest color here and here. I'm going to do the same thing with the other one. Now this part is actually under her body, so I'm just going to put a little line there. Same thing with this one. We'll fill in all the rest of those areas with the next color. The parts that aren't covering the outlines or anything, we'll finish all that off with the next one. the true color. I need to come out a little bit from that. Come out a little bit from this one. A little bit from the body. And there we go. That's the second color. Now we got to put the third color in there. Which is E21. Okay, so extending from the last one and filling in the rest of the outline with our true color. Using this one a little more liberally because, why? It's the middle color. Her little jig leg. I'm going to go along here, kind of start filling that one in. Now I'm going to come along the bottom of her hand, her little leg, her belly, extending up. Uh-oh, she's starting to look good now. I am going to leave a little bit on her belly to be really bright as well, just like we did with her cheeks. But you'll see that on the next step, the next color. Thank you. I'm glad you like her. I'm really liking her too. I'm glad we colored her too. YR00 is the next one. Keeping this dark up underneath her neck. I am going to do a little bit from this direction, a little bit more than what we had done before. Just leaving small areas of white, probably not on her feet because her big belly is going to cover that anyway. And this leg. But then on her belly, I'm going to go up. And I'm going to go around this hand, but I'm going to leave this part right there on her belly to be really light. A little bit on her arm light, and I'll just leave that other arm as well. I have not done the chicken yet. I have not done the chicken. Maybe when we finish the pig, we can do the chicken tomorrow night, and then we can cut them out and do, like, I can prep a card before the live, and then we can make a card out of it too. So this is the last color. This is the lightest one, but I'll do them all. I'll do the chicken tomorrow night if you want me to. Okay. So you get a little bit of lightness. And then this arm, going to stay a little bit light too. And then this belly. You got to color in this belly. Her little belly is so funny. I really like her belly. Now I'm going to go in with the darkest color and make her belly button a little bit dark again because I kind of washed it out and I want to keep that little belly button dark. There we go. Now we have to do her ears. So I'm going to use the RV95, the R12, and then I'm going to use R11, I think, for the ears. So bringing in some more pink. So we're going to use this darkest shade up underneath. I really want this to be a little bit darker, so I might do that a second coat on that just so it stays really dark. But we'll see how it looks once we do the other colors. So this is R12. Oh, we might be okay with 2. Because our R11 is going to be more pink, so it should really bring out that pink. R11 is next. And I'm going to go from the other direction. Yeah, I might want to come in with a little bit darker color. A darker pink color. So we need a little bit more differentiation between the inside of the ears and the outside of the ears. So let's use what color do I want to use? Let's try this E42 and see if it's dark enough. Nope. Gotta be darker than that. So we could put a little bit of this RV95, like the skin tone. We could put a little bit in there just to really show the depth, especially since we already have the pink color in there. Because we need a little bit of depth in those ears. At least I think we need a little bit of depth in those ears. And then we'll blend that out with our R11. Much better. So now you can really see the depth between the ears. I think I'm going to come in with this RV95 a little bit on her tongue too, because even though I colored her tongue earlier, I don't think it stands out very well, so I want to put a little bit more depth in that tongue. So that was RV95, and then I'm going to come in just like I did with the ears, doing the R11, and I think that'll really help. Gonna leave the tip of her tongue really light though. That just gives a little bit of depth. So we have one more thing we have to do. We can't be done until we do the eyes. So I'm going to start with the C1 and do just the back sides of the eyes with the C1 like this. And like this. Now this looks really, really dark on the eyes. Like you guys can't see it, but I can see it. See where I put the C1 around her eyes? And then if I take the Colorless Blender and push that color back into itself, we'll have this more eyeball white color. If I hold that up, you can probably see that a little bit. It just puts a little bit of a shadow to make that eyeball look a little more round than what we have. I think her eyes should be blue though. I really feel like I should have some blue eyes going on here. And I think I'm only going to use 2 colors. I'm going to give her very light blue eyes. So I'm thinking these two. B45 and 52 is what we're going to do her eyes with. So I'm going to do the darkest color, and I don't have to draw it because I'm going to do them a little bit different this time so you can see an easier way to or another way to do it. So I'm going to take the 42 and I'm going to do just a small line right along the black eyeball part. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I want to be very careful to keep that a very skinny little line there. And then with my next color, this B52, I'm going to go right along that last line that I did, soften it up, and extend out just a little bit more on the blues of the eyes. Now, in order to make this work really well and see the different blue colors, I have to go in one more time with the dark blue, which is the 45, and go close to the eye one more time. And then I'll show you up close what that looks like. Because the paper's wet, it blends them really well together. So let me show you. See how cute that looks? And that was so much easier than this one. They still both look good, but a little bit easier. Okay, so I'm going to put a little bit of white right here where the little nose is on this cow. And then I'm also going to fill in this little circle that was already here and this little circle. And then I'm going to put just another little dot for a reflection dot, which will make that eye look a little better. And then same thing with this one. I'm going to put in this bigger white of the eye. But I'm not going to do a second dot on that one because I kind of like the way that one looks, just like that. So there we go. We have cows and pigs tonight. Super cute. I love how that pig came out. I'm super happy with that color combo on the pig. So let's see what time it is. Okay, so it's 11:10. So I say tomorrow we're going to color, and maybe I'll cut them out before the video so you guys don't have to watch me color it. Cut it out tomorrow. So we'll color the chicken and the milk and the moo, and then we'll make a card with all the things. How's that sound? I think maybe I don't know. I like it. I'm so glad you guys like it too. Super cute. I need to practice more on the eyes, I think. These eyes. I haven't done them in a while. But they look super cute. So I'm happy. Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking, Julie. Slimline. Slimline card tomorrow with the cow, the cow, the chicken, and the pig. The pickin'. Tomorrow we'll color the chicken, we'll color the sentiments, and we'll make a card, slimline card, out of all the rest that are left. So I hope you guys like that. We still have another stamp set from the release that we can do next week, because tomorrow's Thursday, right? Tomorrow is my last night. Then Jamie takes over on Friday. If you're interested in these sweet little pig, see how the different color in the pigs? Like this one is really, really pink, and this one is not really, really pink, which I kind of like. So there's our difference. But anyway, this is our stamp set called Cluck It. It's got, you're absolutely legendary. How funny is that? And you can get the dies. They're all in the shop. So if you would like to have them, you can go and get them there. Otherwise, I will post this to YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, like and subscribe so we can do more videos. And I will put all the color combos on YouTube. So thank you, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. And I will see you guys tomorrow night, 9:30. Be here or be square. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.